his dad split. Then Mom started dating.
Can't resist a pretty girl. You know what I mean, buddy?
I'm 11. I hate girls. I mean, he's so uncool. Did you know he actually irons his jeans?
Now a stranger is moving in.
Morning, Ben.
Oh, Mom.
Ben said the thought of us being in the same bed would be psychologically damaging to him.
This isn't so bad. Did he actually use those words? I can live with this.
Yes. He's a very bright kid.
There's only one way to get his life back to normal.
My advice is to get rid of this guy.
Yeah, but how do I do that? The Indian guides. This Indian guide thing could be the solution to my problem.
Hey, how are you, Jack?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Who's up for a game of potato bowling?
Well, what kind of paint is that?
Just watercolor.
Really, this is just a rash.
The happy face is not technically a native symbol.
The guy's history. Yes.
Picking Indian names for each other is one of the most important Indian guide rituals.
How about squatting dog?
Good name.
To make sure they're the same height.
Well, it doesn't get much better than this.
Walt Disney Pictures presents Chevy Chase and Home Improvement's Jonathan Taylor Thomas in the story of a father-to-be and the son who doesn't want him to be.
Can't get any worse than this.
Man of the house.
Squatting dog? That's the best you could come up with?
I had a squirrel named Numbnuts.
Welcome, one and all, to a very special guest choice episode of Escape from Walt Disney, the podcast where we review movies, TV shows, and short films available on Disney Plus, usually chosen completely at random. I am your host, Tony Goldmark. Joining us today in person is Haley Baker Callahan.
Hello.
Zach Hurst.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Gaby Tyrrell.
Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared.
And the guest choice guest of honor himself, Charlie Callahan.
You gave me this power, Tony, and I'm using it wisely.
You arguably are not.
And like I said, this episode is a guest choice episode.
Be our guest.
Choice.
Be our guest.
Choice.
Put our service to the test.
Choice. In which we temporarily bypass the randomizer and watch what one of my guests wants us to watch. In this case, the very awesome Charlie Callahan. Charlie,
Aww.
as you know, after you've been on the show 10 times or more, as you have, you get one guest choice option, and you will only ever get one guest choice option. You've chosen this week to use it, and you've chosen to make us watch the 1995 Chevy Chase Jonathan Taylor Thomas vehicle, Man of the House. So, of course, now, Charlie, the question must be, why Man of the House?
Well, one, because it's unexpected. For someone like me and what I do on YouTube and the circles that I usually find myself within, it would probably skew a little bit toward theme parks.
Honestly, I was expecting you to pick Mouseketeers at Walt Disney World.
That was a strong second place contender. A very strong second place contender. Just because of everything that y'all have been talking it up to be and all the horror that it is. But no, I wanted to pick this because for some reason, as an 8-year-old child, growing up watching these movies as often as I did, this was the one I latched on to. I don't know why. I cannot explain it. Anybody out there who wants to psychoanalyze me, by all means, keep it to yourself. I kind of honestly don't want to know. I know for a fact that Zach has not seen it.
I've only seen the trailer when Charlie was thinking about it.
Haley, Gabby, have either of you ever seen this?
No, but I've seen the VHS trailer, and all I remember from it was this really racist, hey, how are ya thing.
I remember that too.
Maybe I did see this when I was a kid. I remember them at like a camp with really fake Native American headdresses, which is already uncomfortable.
Yeah, we're seeing those headdresses in the screen
You're
gap.
telling me that Chevy Chase was uncomfortably racist?
I know, right?
What white nonsense is this?
I remember them dancing to Everybody Dance Now by CNC Music Factory in these very racist Native American-esque headdresses. I don't know. Maybe I'm over-remembering something.
Haley, have you ever seen this?
I have never seen this.
Well, I have got a confession to make. I actually have seen this. I saw it in theaters when it was first out.
Wow.
I don't know why. I think I just saw commercials for it, and I was like, hey, it's that Jonathan Taylor Thomas kid from Home Improvement and The Lion King, and that adult guy from Cops and Robertsons, or whatever. It's like, this was, needless to say, this was not the height of Chevy Chase's career.
Absolutely not.
This was 20 years after he'd premiered on SNL, of course, 19 years after he left SNL. And, of course, he had a decent movie career in the 80s with Caddyshack and Fletch and things like that.
What year was the Chevy Chase talk show?
93. And that was a notorious bomb. It failed right out of the gate. And it came out around the same time Late Night with Conan O'Brien first premiered.
Oh.
And of course, every industry insider worth their weight in cocaine was like, what? Who the fuck is Conan O'Brien? That's not going to amount to anything. No one's ever heard of him.
Simpsons writer.
Now that Chevy Chase guy, he's funny. We know he'll produce a good talk show.
You may remember me from such Fox Network specials as Alien Nose Job and 5 Fabulous Weeks of the Chevy Chase Show.
Basically, by the 90s, Chevy Chase's notorious history of being a complete toxic asshole to absolutely everyone caught up with him, and no one wanted to make movies with him anymore except apparently Disney.
This has a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that that's any metric of whether something is good or not.
No, of course not. I mean, it's one more than the Haunted Mansion movie. I'll give it that much.
Are you serious?
Haunted Mansion, 13%.
Wow.
That is bullshit.
Ouch.
But yeah, I remember even as a kid not really being blown away by this movie, even when I was an impressionable kid who basically liked everything.
Right.
And yeah, I do remember racism in this movie. I remember a lot of scenes of white people putting on indigenous headdresses and doing fucking rain dances and shit. One of the few jokes I remember from this movie is when they mention rain dances, Jonathan Taylor Thomas says, "Rain dance? We're in Seattle. What's the point?" Because it rains a lot in Seattle. It's a joke.
You said the jokes,
funny because
kids.
it's a joke. It's a joke about rain in Seattle.
Oh, sorry.
Stop it, you're killing me. Seattle.
And as far as JTT is concerned, this was the same year as Tom and Huck, the movie where he played Tom Sawyer. And by the way, a couple years ago on this podcast, we covered The Adventures of Huck Finn with Elijah Wood, where we pointed out how Jim simply went by Jim in that movie. They did not use the word that precedes Jim in the book.
Right.
But apparently in Tom and Huck, they do use I-word Joe. Only they don't say I-word. They use the indigenous slur. So I don't know if JTT is just racist against indigenous people and he would only pick scripts that shat on them. I don't know.
Or his agent was.
One can only speculate.
I always got Man of the House confused with the Tim Allen movie Jungle to Jungle.
Okay.
Which,
Scrolling down.
Yeah, scrolling down, you see it. 2 father-son movies from the mid-90s that weren't very good.
Featuring people from Home Improvement.
And to make things more confusing, this is not the only movie called Man of the House.
Yeah.
About 10 years later, there was a Tommy Lee Jones movie called Man of the House where he's this cop who's got to guard these cheerleaders or something.
Yeah. It's like a sorority house or something.
Okay. I've never seen the other one, but from what I've heard, they're both supposedly comedies that don't have laughs in them.
Do you live here with all these girls?
Temporarily.
Dude, you're my new hero.
Imagine what that means to me.
And in this movie, I don't know if Chevy Chase is his real dad or if he's just dating his mom or something, but whatever the case, they have to live together and Jonathan Taylor Thomas just hates Chevy Chase, which is natural. But
I mean,
who doesn't? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but also in the movie, the characters.
I remember a scene where Chevy Chase is in the shower and JTT plays, I guess, what passes in this movie for a Home Alone-esque prank on Chevy Chase by like flushing the toilet or using the sink while he's in the shower so that suddenly he's sprayed with nothing but cold water, because that's how plumbing worked in the 90s, I guess.
thought it was like hot water.
A thing, because I remember asking my parents about this. If you flush the toilet while you're in the shower in like old plumbing systems, that would cause the hot water to turn off temporarily.
Okay.
Your water heater couldn't flow to two different pipes at the same time.
That and the Rain Dance Seattle joke and the hey, how are you now? Fine then, how are you? That's the only three things I remember from this movie.
Good.
I'm looking at the tag on Disney Plus right now, and it says coming of age, family comedy. Okay. Crime.
Yeah, it tells you the movie up front is a crime.
A crime against humanity.
This all ties into what I was going to talk about with the blurb here. A man joins the YMCA to impress the son of the woman of his dreams.
Okay.
Wrong.
That's not what
happened. Wrong, sir.
Charlie, when was the last time you watched this?
It's been a while since I've seen this, but because, again, this was my jam when I was a kid, for whatever reason, there are things about this that I distinctly remember. All of this is absolutely incorrect. What the movie is really about, this is the Google blurb, despite having a dangerous criminal with a vendetta after him, attorney Jack Sturgis has a tougher adversary to worry about, his girlfriend's son, Ben. As Sturgis and Ben's mom, Sandy, become more serious, Ben increasingly ups his efforts to sabotage the relationship, since he has no intention of giving up his prime spot in the household dynamic. Sturgis is determined to connect with Ben, but Ben is going to make him work for it.
But also there's a criminal after him?
So you're telling me they don't go to the YMCA?
No!
Because I'm told they have everything for young men to
Well,
enjoy.
that's why he's dressed in the racist indigenous headdress, is because he's one of the village people.
The YMCA...
He's hanging out with all the boys.
Yeah.
The YMCA is absent from this entire movie.
Really?
I do not know why they decided to write this blurb the way they did.
That is so weird.
Well, I'm guessing they watched the trailer once.
Maybe when Trump ruined the song YMCA for everyone a couple years back, they were like, okay, now we have to apply YMCA to all the assholes, including Chevy.
I thought this movie was about Jonathan Taylor Thomas, primarily. But from both this description and your description, it's about Chevy Chase. Like, that's the main
From
character.
what I remember, it's about both of them. It's a two-hander.
The selling point would be Jonathan Taylor Thomas, the kid who's been in a billion Disney movies.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas for the kids, and I guess Chevy Chase for the parents who wish he was still funny. I mean, it did definitely feel like it was written for Tim Allen. They figured, we'll get the kid from Home Improvement instead. Why not?
Because he was huge around this time.
He was pretty huge.
He was the breakout heartthrob of those three kids on that show.
He'd just been the voice of young Simba in The Lion King.
They really thought Jonathan Taylor Thomas was going to be the next Macaulay Culkin.
They put a lot of stock into that.
They absolutely did, because this was, again, the same year as Tom and Huck.
Well, this was the year after Richie Rich, when Macaulay Culkin aged out of being a cutesy child star and hit puberty, and it was all over for him.
Right. And so Jonathan Taylor Thomas was going to be the next big thing. And especially after, Lion King and Home Improvement. And then he disappeared off the face of the earth after
I'll Be Home for Christmas.
I'll Be Home for Christmas.
He was in Smallville after I'll Be Home for Christmas, and that was the last thing I ever saw him in.
He was in Smallville?
One of the first seasons.
According to Wikipedia, he has since been in 4 episodes of Last Man Standing. He was also in an episode of Veronica Mars.
Of fucking course he was in Last Man Standing with Tim Allen.
That was a favor to Tim.
Oh.
Exactly.
He never got to pay Tim like $12 back for a lunch or something.
Hey, thanks for that episode where everybody thought I had cancer and was dying.
That aired the same night as a Dana Carvey show episode.
Oh my God.
They talked about this in the Dana Carvey show documentary on Hulu. Too Funny to Fail, where they showed an ad, which, by the way, is on YouTube.
ABC Tuesday, a parent's worst fear, losing a child.
I don't want to die, Dad.
You never know whose family it will happen to.
I know you're scared, I know how you feel.
An episode so powerful, it hits home.
We'll beat this thing, no matter what it is, I'm not letting anything happen to you.
A special Home Improvement followed by the Diet Mug Root Beer Dana Carvey Show, all new ABC Tuesday.
By the way, that episode of the Dana Carvey Show was the one where the entire first act was Dana Carvey as Regis Philbin running through the streets of New York trying to get to David Letterman and falling in a sewer and fighting a giant rat. So right after this heartwarming cancer episode of Home Improvement, you got Dana Carvey as Regis Philbin fighting a giant rat.
That is a hell of a whiplash.
That's a double feature for you right there.
That was the fucking 90s.
Dana as Regis says, I don't want to die, Dad.
This movie has completely faded out of all nostalgic consciousness. So when we hear the name Jonathan Taylor Thomas, we think of one of two things. One, the John Mulaney joke.
By 2029, I'll be drinking moon juice with President Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
And the other thing is Lion King. And when this child speaks, you will not be able to not see Simba.
Someone isn't familiar with The Adventures of Pinocchio. With Martin Landau as Geppetto.
I tried watching that once and I immediately turned it off.
I saw the sequel to that. That sequel was weird.
That was a thing?
Oh, yeah, there was a sequel.
I thought Jonathan Taylor Thomas was Pinocchio in Geppetto with Drew Carey.
No, Jonathan Taylor Thomas was Pinocchio in a theatrical movie from 96, the year right after this, where Martin Landau played Geppetto in what I believe was his first role after winning an Oscar for playing Bela Lugosi and Ed Wood.
Oh my God.
Won an Oscar and immediately did the fucking creepy ass 90s Adventures of Pinocchio movie.
Well, I got those mixed up in
Has there ever been an
Blockbuster.
adaptation of Pinocchio beyond that first Disney adaptation that has not been creepy as hell?
I mean, maybe the Guillermo del Toro version will be creepy in an effective way.
Yeah.
Because Guillermo del Toro knows how to make creepy shit appealing.
Very excited for that, by the way.
This is the year of 3 fucking Pinocchio movies, because you had the Pauly Shore piece of shit. And you've got the Zemeckis fucking movie coming out. Did you see the trailer for that?
Can I get out and go
It
on
looks
my
so
own?
fucking awful.
Pinocchio without Pinocchio?
Yeah, because they didn't show Pinocchio in the trailer.
Because they're going through a de-yassification process with him right now.
They sure are.
It's Disney. You can't have a gay
I have to
Pinocchio.
fumigate the termites in the yas off.
It kind of reminds me of the year 2012 when there was like 2 Snow White movies that came out in the same year for some reason.
Snow White and the Huntsman and Mirror
with
That was a
Julie
good
Roberts.
year.
I saw both of them and I did not like both of them.
Haley,
I liked him.
Haley over here like drinking a fine wine. 'Twas a fine year for Snow White, I found.
Please enjoy this beautiful music, folks, and we will be right back with our thoughts on Charlie Callahan's guest choice, Man of the House, right here on Escape from Walt Disney.
Oh, dear God.
I'm done.
I feel good about this choice.
Come on home. See what's waiting for you. Waiting for you.
Okay, well, we just watched the 1995 Chevy Chase Jonathan Taylor Thomas vehicle, Man of the House. Charlie, how does it feel to have completely wasted your guest choice?
I have to explain.
Do you?
Yeah, you do actually.
Please,
What's worth
explain.
explaining?
Allow me to explain.
Okay, explain.
Please.
At least it won't come up on the randomizer now.
Charlie, I would have expected this from the randomizer, but from you.
That being said, I'm only a little sorry that I made you waste your time.
Uh-huh.
I have absolutely no regrets.
This movie is a complete waste of time. This
Yes.
movie is fucking useless.
We can arrange for some
Garbage.
regrets if that's what you're looking for.
Yes.
There is nothing good that came out of this movie. There is no reason for this to exist. There's no point to it.
Absolutely none.
This feels like someone wrote a season of television and very quickly had to parse it down to 90 minutes.
Or wrote a pilot that they had to mercilessly stretch to 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
First of all, Jonathan Taylor Thomas is being the toxic asshole here
Yes.
in this
He is the
relationship.
He
Little
has
shit.
an Oedipus complex. It's
He's
really
got-
disturbing.
It doesn't even feel like it wants you to root for Jonathan Taylor Thomas because he seems to have been directed that every emotion you have, I want you to have a shit-eating smirk on your face at the same time. No matter how happy, sad, angry, all of it. Make sure you got that little smirk on your face.
God, they're trying to paint him as some Kevin McAllister Home Alone type.
Kevin McAllister wants to fuck his mom, pretty much.
The boy king of twerps.
But Kevin McAllister had clear motivations for wanting to protect the house from Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern. It's like here, I never thought I would fucking say this, but Chevy Chase did everything right. Like, Chevy Chase's character in this is a complete nice guy who is at least trying to overcome every obstacle that is thrown his way and is not being a dick about it. He's being a perfectly gracious, polite human being, which must have been a huge stretch for him. I'll give him that.
I was like, really? He should have gotten an Oscar for this acting role because he's clearly
really transformed himself for the role.
He pulls it off. He still kind of feels like an asshole.
The delivery of these lines are like really, really wooden, especially near the end. There's some lines where it's just really, really robotic, choppity delivery.
Oh, he did not want to be here.
Oh, hell no.
Some of these scenes could work if there was a more likable actor in that role.
Like John Ritter.
Maybe
John Ritter
Tim
could have
Allen.
pulled this off.
Maybe Tim Allen.
Except, I don't think fucking Brando in his prime could have pulled this off because the script was just
I didn't say
non-existent.
the movie would be good, but there were certain scenes where I was like, this could be better if Chevy was a more likable actor.
Get George Wendt to switch characters. He could be the lead guy.
Right.
George Wendt was completely wasted in this movie.
Yeah.
Charles Grodin. I'm thinking of 90s family comedy dads at this point.
Well, Charles Grodin kind of played the demented psychopath version of this in Clifford, which is an amazing movie.
The Big Red Dog?
No.
The Clifford with Martin Short.
Oh, okay.
It's an extremely brilliant, fucked up little movie from the 90s, which is basically a parody of this, and it was released a year earlier.
Oh my god.
And
somewhere between this and Problem Child was Clifford.
Yeah. The only thing going on here is, you're right, JTT is a fucking Oedipal complex, and he wants to fuck his mother, which, I mean, his mother is Farrah Fawcett, so I can't entirely blame him.
Fair.
Who leaves Farrah Fawcett, by the way? That is the stupidest...
Was his secretary Jolene?
She was Cheryl Ladd. I mean, how fucking sad is it that Farrah Fawcett's even in this? She was practically revered as a goddess back in the 70s. She had that pinup poster everyone had. 20 years later, she's reduced to pretending to be into Chevy Chase.
Women aren't allowed to age in this town.
She actually had vibes like my stepmom. Like, she was an artist and had all this whimsigoth shit all around the house.
She's a courtroom artist, but she's also an exhibiting artist because she was getting ready for her first gallery show.
Yeah.
Pretty good collage art, not gonna lie. I would love to see the artists they credited.
I don't know how much courtroom artists get paid, but that place of theirs is fucking enormous.
It's a loft apartment in Seattle.
A loft apartment
Dadgum.
in Seattle.
Yeah.
How much is she getting in child support? Because that's
2 levels.
How much is the mortgage on that?
It's got to be a condo.
Right.
And she had to have sold a house in the suburbs of Seattle. I feel like it was implied that she became an artist and started supporting herself after the divorce. She must be making banking alimony.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy that we, as millennials, are looking back on this group of people from the 90s being like, how did they afford a house?
Yeah, I mean, it's this amazing looking loft apartment.
Beautiful.
And
I would love
JTT says, it was pretty gross at first. And it's this
gross.
Yeah,
fucking to die for enormous goddamn warehouse.
Spaces.
What I love, you could rollerblade in that fucking place.
So
What I love
much
even more
natural light. It's beautiful.
Cut it gross until mom got it. All that mom did was just
Add
bring in
tables.
like 6 tables.
So many tables.
She
Why?
had a thing for tables. I don't know.
I liked that there was casually a basket of potatoes in their living room. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
I just think they're neat.
They do not know how to write children. Jonathan Taylor Thomas's dialogue.
He's written like a 70-year-old Jewish mother stereotype.
I saw it on Dateline.
Oh, I can't do this right now. My back is hurting.
Well, this was originally written for Estelle Getty. It was going to be her. It was going to be her follow-up to Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Oh my god!
It was like Chevy Chase gets up from his broken guest bed to like walk to the mom's room, and Jonathan Taylor's at the top of the stairs like, what do you think you're doing? Where you going, huh?
We need to remake this, but with an old woman as opposed to just
Say hi
that
to my
little-
mother for me.
Isn't that just that John Candy movie with the overbearing
Only
mother-in-law?
the Lonely? That
Thank
one?
you.
Oh
That
my
one,
God.
yeah. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor Thomas is easily the most unreasonable person in this
He
movie.
really is.
Which, to be fair, he is an actual child.
Sure, he's
being
11,
unreasonable is sort
fine.
of what's weird. Honestly, is they skip over a lot of the important moments.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you don't see when the mom meets Jack. You don't get
yeah,
why
it just cuts to them working together.
Yeah, they're just
Like-
suddenly already dating. you don't see Ben meet Jack for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, you're cut into that in the middle.
I thought they just met for the first time there.
In this whole
There might have been some
narration
deleted scenes.
that Jonathan Taylor Thomas starts out with, he doesn't mention, oh yeah, mom's been dating this D-bag for so on and so forth months.
The movie starts with just, oh, he's moving in now.
Yeah, he's moving
And
in.
I'm
It's like,
like-
have they been dating for only a couple weeks? What's going on here?
There's that brief mention of her dating other guys and it not working out.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas is like, yeah, my mom started to date some people, but they were all terrible losers. And the example he gives is that poor man trying to fly a kite and
it's like all-
failing.
all-
Can't fly a kite.
Yeah, it's just like, all these guys my mom dates are such jerks.
And he's not doing anything
And it
like
was just-
self-centered or gross. He's
Yeah, like-
flying a kite poorly and tripping.
He's flying a kite so badly they could hire him at Disney World. What about that fucking scene? It couldn't be more than 10 minutes into the movie where they're walking along the beach and it's established that Farrah Fawcett is dating Chevy Chase and Jonathan Taylor Thomas just pipes up.
This is all about sex, isn't it? Please, Ben, I'm your mother. You don't have to pretend. I already know women reach their sexual peak in their 30s.
What was it with goddamn 90s comedies?
And having children that were too frank for their own
They
good.
did the same shit in the Parent Trap remake.
Yeah.
That I
Yeah.
also covered on this podcast.
I think you're just dating him for the sex, honey. I really feel like you should be settling down with a nice other kind of man. This boy's a lawyer. Maybe you should go with someone homeless.
This theory makes way too much sense, Zach. It makes way too much sense.
You're in your mid-30s. You're in your sexual prime right now, Mom. Like, I get it. Your
I
hormones are
understand that he's a
overflowing.
lawyer, but he works for the government. There's no money in that.
It is
What was
so
the movie that started this trend?
Eddie, Oedipus.
Oedipus.
Hello, I'm Edward Puss.
I do have a question. 3 of the 5 people in this podcast are children of divorce. Zach, Tony, and Gabby.
My parents didn't get divorced until I graduated from high school, so I wouldn't quite say I'm a
Okay.
child of divorce.
Parents who have divorced.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And all 3 of you have step-parents.
True.
Yep.
Especially Zach and Gabby, who were still growing up when the step-parent experience started. How compare?
Oh, okay.
Well, I definitely remember shooting my stepdad's tire with a bow and arrow.
My parents had joint custody over me when I was growing up, and so
Yay, 2 Christmases!
2 Christmases! Yeah! Neither one of my step-parents thought, okay, well, I have to step up to be mom or step up to be dad. No, they knew I still had a dad in my life. I still had a mom in my life, and they weren't gonna, take the place of that. Even though I did kind of relate to Jonathan Taylor Thomas. My stepdad was really annoying to me when I was a kid. Obviously, I grew out of it.
My bio dad was really annoying to me as a kid.
Yeah, it's parents are just annoying to children.
Some adults just don't speak
Right.
child.
Oh, there's this new guy with my mom, and I don't know if I really like him or not.
This movie is almost perversely dull. It's almost fascinatingly dedicated to nothing interesting happening for most of its runtime, but every so often there's a little punctuation of some sort of extreme dialogue. Like, for example, JTT is intermittently a true crime fan. He looks up whether Chevy Chase's character is a serial killer, and he's theorizing, well, how do we know he doesn't want to boil our heads in acid?
Sardon Geraldo.
He grew up to be a true crime podcaster, probably.
Definitely. Either that, or he's telling on himself, and he's going to be a serial killer.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas plays a very convincing psychopath.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
He could have played the Macaulay Culkin part in The Good Son.
Hey, don't fuck with me. That's my Jonathan Taylor Thomas voice.
That's not bad.
One of the things that annoyed me about this was the communication breakdown. Like, she moves his shit in the bathroom and is like, oh no, it's fine. You can still get your shit. But you moved it.
And her excuse is, oh, well, he's taller. Well, yeah, but your kid can still reach the cupboard. Clearly, he was
He's
doing
11,
it. He was
not
grabbing
7.
He was grabbing his allergy medication and saying, ooh, what a wimp. Which I was sure that was setting up something.
There were so many shenanigans setups in this movie that never got paid off.
That was Chekhov's allergy medication.
They
I thought for sure.
It's weird. They sort of did later when he was like, "Oh, I'm allergic to some paints."
Oh, right. Okay,
but they didn't.
And then got the rash.
They didn't bring up the medicine
That's
though.
true.
He just sort of
Yeah, he
has
didn't-
allergies.
Was there even a line about, oh, I couldn't find my allergy medication?
He had both his pills and the allergy cream in the cabinet. If he couldn't find it, Jonathan Taylor Thomas hid it from him.
So the movie actually did something subtle.
Well, it just feels a little bit like, what if Home Alone, one of them went into anaphylactic shock, and Macaulay Culkin just hit all the EpiPens somewhere?
No.
The scene where Chevy Chase is fucking with that little bed that keeps fucking up on him.
Oh, yeah.
Why doesn't he just sleep on the couch?
I was
There's
just
a
about
perfectly
to
fine
say.
couch.
There's a couch
Right behind him.
there.
Well, there's even a part of me that was like, yeah, I agree, it's not a big deal. Then it broke in his head, and so he's just like laying there with his spine up with the rest of him. I was like, that looks amazing.
That looks like something a chiropractor would
Yeah,
have.
that's like good for your
Because
back.
I saw that, my spine went, that's what we need right now.
I mentioned that Chevy Chase didn't do anything wrong, although he is a grown man who doesn't know you're supposed to put a lid on a blender.
There's a fine line between slapstick and stupidity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Turning off the eye of the oven with your foot while stuffing a rag into a blender that's actively going.
That you're not even bothering to turn off.
Yeah.
There's an off button you could just press.
That
if you
had a
wanted.
perfectly fine lid you could have put on there for hollandaise sauce, a sauce that is delicately whisked into being.
Who makes hollandaise in the blender?
I thought he was
I've
making
never heard of
pancake
hollandaise
That's
in
what
the
I thought,
blender.
too.
Yeah, pancake batter in the blender.
That's also a bad way to make pancake batter.
Yeah,
You get
it's
flat
stupid.
pancakes.
He's making eggs Benedict, and apparently Jonathan Taylor Thomas is the only 11-year-old health nut in the fucking world.
Oh, God.
It was the
Yeah.
90s. Lots of crunchy little kids in
You
the
see,
90s.
all I want is to eat my oatmeal and some fruit in the morning. That's all I need.
Exactly. This was making more and more and more sense, Zach. But he keeps saying, like, does the word cholesterol mean anything to you?
Jack's trying to kill us with animal fat.
It's eggs. Eggs have good cholesterol, you fucking pissant.
It's eggs hollandaise. You can eat eggs in a healthy diet. If you're eating one meal with that, you're gonna be fine.
It wasn't about the eggs so much as, oh, he interrupted my routine, which,
Right.
okay,
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
Divergent headcanon now.
And then they do a non-runner, because there's no fucking jokes in it, about the recycling cans and the compost. And
Yeah.
and that went fucking nowhere.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna come back somewhere, but nope.
I mean, I guess that was
All
just
of
to
these
set up him
shenanigans,
throwing
yeah,
away
that's-
the book.
That was
so
kind
it was
of
setting
sad.
up a drama beat.
There's also a subplot involving the goddamn mafia, which I'm not surprised I had
Yeah.
completely forgotten about.
the movie kind of forgets about it too.
Yeah.
Their whole motive is the mobster that we see. He's mad at Chevy Chase because his dad was like the head of this mob, and he went to
This 4-person mob,
He got
counting
put-
the one
he got
in
put away
jail.
for
he got put over 50 years,
Yeah.
which is basically life because he's clearly like in his 60s.
Yeah.
And Chevy Chase was the prosecuting attorney.
And he's just like, I'm going to get him for what he did to my dad.
That was a staple in 90s family comedies like this, where it would get tense for 5 minutes. The Dennis the Menace movie in the 90s had the weird drifter that kidnapped Dennis for
Played
5
by Christopher
minutes.
Lloyd.
Well, it's the Home Alone influence. It's every
Jungle
kid's
to
movie
Jungle
of the 90s.
had the same thing where it would get tense for like
the
5
Russian
minutes
mob.
and go away.
Or Baby's Day Out, or Getting Even with Dad, just all these fucking movies where they had to have Home Alone shenanigans at one point. In this case, Home Alone shenanigans out in the woods, and we'll fucking get to that. Good God. Should we get into the cultural appropriation bullshit?
Are we ready?
And how they try and very much fail to have their cake and eat it too.
Just because you are hanging a lampshade on it doesn't mean you're not doing the thing.
So JTT finds out about this indigenous appropriation shit, which apparently is a real thing.
So first of all, yes, I have to go back and amend a previous statement from
This is a YMCA thing.
This is in fact a YMCA thing. They do bring up the YMCA. And apparently they had the YMCA's blessing for this shit.
Yeah, they worked in tandem
Almost
with the
an
fucking
advertisement
YMCA.
for the YMCA.
It's product placement.
It's literally product placement.
So read the credit they put at the very end of the movie.
All right. Though the Indian guides depicted in this movie are based on the YMCA Indian Guide program, the filmmakers have taken artistic license to adapt the program for comedic purposes.
Really? There were comedic purposes in this movie? Could have fooled me.
I mean, there was a mime.
I could not find comedy
That
or
fucking
purpose.
mime. When a movie has to resort to a fucking mime, you know it's in trouble.
I thought it was adorable, but it did get old after a while. I'm just
It was one joke.
Yeah, it was
It
one
was
joke.
Johnny
that was
one note,
stretched
Johnny
too
lack
thin.
of one note.
He has that one bit at the first meeting where he's doing all that stupid
Yeah,
shtick.
and it just kind of comes up without wording, and I'm like, what is going on here?
It's to add to the cringe of the scene.
And then he and Chevy try to pitch a tent in the camping scene, and that's the one scene where Chevy's actually doing some physical comedy and basically going back into the Clark Griswold well. It's National Lampoon's Camping Vacation.
With a bunch of spicy racism.
And going on, the YMCA Indian Guide program continued to foster mutual respect and caring between parent and child. YMCA Indian Guides is a program of the YMCA throughout North America. This was fucking real.
Now, to be clear, they have since rebranded it as Adventure Guides, not Indian Guides.
Yeah.
So at some point between 1995 and now, they have realized, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't.
So it's like a Boy Scout type organization as organized by the YMCA.
Yes, and specifically to foster relationships between
parents and children,
child.
as
a
opposed
father and
to
son.
Yeah,
thing.
father-son relationships.
I think that's one of the things they fictionalize is father-son, but I think in real life it's just parent and child.
Okay.
All right,
So-
but it's the YMCA.
Yeah.
That stands for
When is
Young
the last
Men's.
time you've seen a YWCA?
Yeah.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
all just the Y now, anyway. It's the young.
Can't even say the YMCA because there was clearly no God in this.
No, of course.
The producers would like to express their gratitude of the YMCA for their cooperation and assistance during the making of this film YMCA logo.
And then it says...
Oh, here we go.
And then they really try to have an extra slice of cake and eat it too.
Quote, laughter is healing, end quote.
How would this movie know?
The producers wish to enhance relationships with Native Americans through family entertainment, and we thank the Red Crow family and various Native Americans who contributed to our film in that spirit.
Okay, various Native Americans... Unless there was some credit I missed, that's a fucking lie, because the one actual indigenous guy in the movie was also their Native American consultant.
Yeah.
Chief Leonard George, who is a real indigenous chief, as a matter of fact, and he's in the movie basically playing himself.
Yeah.
He is representative of the Salish tribe who is suing the American government for land rights.
Right.
And I hope the Salish wins.
And he wants Chevy Chase taken off the case, obviously, because he gets a rash in the shape of the war paint that gets painted on his face. That's not cool. And the movie agrees. There's even a scene where his boss chews him out for it.
This is the 90s.
This is the 90s. Haven't you heard of political correctness?
They say as Chevy Chase comes in with like a full-on mock Native American outfit, and the leader of their guide program is wearing a war bonnet.
We are underselling how much appropriative visuals are in this
There
film.
is so goddamn much of it. If you cut them all out, it would be a 15-minute movie, and we would have preferred that. And then there's the camping trip scene later where Chevy Chase is telling this story where he's doing this stereotypical indigenous voice, but he even has this weak-ass disclaimer at the beginning.
Real Native Americans don't talk like that.
Yes, Squatting Dog know this, but intend use only for comic effect.
That doesn't make it
Yeah,
better.
it doesn't even make it funny.
But you know that was a studio note.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes it even more cringe. They are trying to have their cake and eat it too, and it doesn't fucking work.
It's healing through laughter, Tony.
What laughter?
I might also add that having one of the other dad's names be red when you're appropriating a lot of native aesthetics
right.
Yeah, I believe the
awkward as all
Art
hell.
LaFleur character.
The stickler guy who keeps saying point of order because he's memorized the fucking guidebook, which got very old very fast.
See, I thought he was going to be more of an antagonist, but he's just kind of off to the sides, much like everybody else.
Everyone's just kind of one note. They have their one thing that they do, and then they move on.
JTT finds out about this whole Indian Guides thing because another kid at his school gets shoved in a locker for wearing appropriative indigenous clothes. Honestly, I side with the bullies on that one.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you, white kid.
Even if it wasn't appropriative, if it was something different.
Replace it with D&D.
Say he's a Boy Scout and he's wearing like his Boy Scout vest. It's still a dorky thing to show up outside of the context of Boy Scouts.
Right.
Let the kid hyperfixate.
I mean, if you want to make it some ironic appreciation that turns into sincere appreciation of something dorky, make it a D&D club, or go the role models route and make it LARPing.
I just spent the afternoon in Middle Earth with Gleek Glop and the Floopty-Doos, all right? Give me a fucking break.
Honestly, that would be so much better,
But this was the 90s.
This was the 90s.
D&D still wasn't cool.
That shit yet.
Yeah, it was all
those
about,
who did were still in the basement.
It was all about Native American indigenous aesthetic without so much indigenous consultation.
They had that let one guy give them consultation, so I guess if he approved of the movie, fine. I don't know what his takeaway from the final cut was.
They say no mystery lodge. There weren't no brain trust going on.
No.
Oh, and by the way, not only was this the same year as Tom and Huck, it was the same year as Pocahontas.
3 months earlier.
Yep.
And I know Disney really tried with Pocahontas to make it respectful, but putting out this film could not have fucking helped.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
This quote-unquote native craze was all over popular culture at the time because white folk wanted to connect to something after the Cold War, and they decided to connect to other people's cultures without asking first.
They really wanted to apologize without asking, hey, how can I apologize?
Without materially helping in any way whatsoever.
Exactly.
You know, white people.
I don't know how the fuck Chevy Chase's character convinced the actual indigenous guy who's suing the government to take time away from his lawsuit to help these fucking whiteys bond with each other more. I don't know what was the selling point of all that.
If you do this, I'll throw the case. I feel like we're getting really hung up on the racism part, which is worthwhile to talk about, but we're ignoring the fact that even if we were to replace every bit of racism with something else, the movie still sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Wouldn't make the movie better.
absolutely,
Just make it a little less
At one
cringy.
point, we had checked, like, how far are we into this movie? Like, exhausted. And then about 10 minutes later...
3 times we did this.
We looked up, we're about halfway through, and I'm like, we're halfway through, and any amount of tension the movie had built up at all for anything was gone. Either one, because the main problem was basically being solved in the moment.
Right.
The relationship between Jack and Ben being strained was effectively fixed in montage that we were in the middle of watching.
course. Yeah.
The other point of tension was the mob thing that they forgot about.
Yeah.
It showed up once and not again for like 60 minutes.
Also, can we talk about how the montage mostly consists of a bunch of white people doing a quote-unquote rain dance that looks like jazzercise with your indigenous
A rain
friends.
dance to CC Music Factory's
Yes.
Everybody Dance Now.
Yeah, you were
I knew I
absolutely
wasn't
right
imagining
about that. And in that fucking Everybody Dance Now montage, they stole the axe in the crotch joke from The Tonight Show. There's a scene where they're throwing axes at like a little diagram of
Custer.
a person.
Yeah, General Custer, yeah.
Of General
Of
Custer.
whom
which
Pacific
looked
Northwest natives never dealt with.
who looked like Owen Wilson in
Night at the Museum.
I think it's Chevy who throws the axe, and the axe hits Custer's crotch, which directly references a very famous clip from Johnny Carson's Tonight Show back when it was still in black and white, when he had Ed Ames, an actor who had played indigenous characters in various westerns, and he was showing Johnny how to throw a tomahawk. They had a life-size drawing of a cowboy drawn on a piece of plywood. He throws the tomahawk at it, hits the cowboy perfectly right in the crotch, and the audience goes fucking ballistic. And then as the audience laughter starts to die down, Johnny, perfectly timed, just says,
I didn't even know you were Jewish.
it's a classic TV moment. And they rip the setup off without the fucking punchline. It's like, at least go all the way with your thievery.
Right?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas in the rain dancing montage was reading a magazine with a Lion King ad on the back.
Yeah, that was crass.
Aggressive winking.
Oh, and then when they do the rain dance and then it actually rains and the indigenous guy looks really fucking surprised and the camera does the fucking Andy Dufresne crane shot. It's literally
Which is really sad because we're the only ones who crawled through a river of shit today.
Yes, exactly. And we did not come out the other side clean. Good God.
I get that it was a real thing, but I really hope they weren't doing the Indian aesthetics in the actual Indian guides. I don't know if any of you guys have this. I know a lot of people have like secondhand emotions from watching things. Like if you see someone sad, you feel sad. I get really bad secondhand cringe. Like I can't watch the first season of Parks and Rec at all.
Yeah.
People being cringy, even if it's funny, just makes me feel like I'm watching two people being awkward in real life. And
Like
I have
you're
to walk
getting
away.
embarrassed for them and you feel the social shame that they
Yes.
should be getting. I understand that completely.
And it's even worse when it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mentioned that they tried way too hard to make Chevy Chase a nice guy. They overdid it. There are so many times when they could have made Chevy Chase's character a little bit more of a bastard in ways that would still be understandable. Like, for example, when Chevy Chase overhears JTT talking on the phone, admitting that he's just pretending to be into the Indian guides to get Chevy Chase to say fuck this and fuck off.
You just want him to break out into Clark Griswold's rant from Christmas Vacation.
Pretty much. I fully expected the next beat to be, okay, Chevy Chase is going to call his bluff on this Indian guide thing.
And a whole thing of him getting back at him.
Yeah, and getting really, really into it just to get back at JTT for it. But instead, he just gets all depressed. He's like, oh, the kid doesn't want me around.
See, there's a part of me that sort of appreciated that, because I feel like the way most movies would have gone would have been like, okay, now it's time to get even. And there's a part of it that feels like you're the adult here.
But here's the thing. I would have so welcomed that tete-a-tete back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it would have redeemed the movie. It would have given it something.
Yeah.
Just fucking something instead of nothing. This movie was nothing.
It was really funny that we could tell how much improv was going on because we had the subtitles up and they were all wrong.
Yeah.
I think those subtitles were done by someone on Quaaludes.
It was done by someone just lazily trying to get it done as quickly as
I would
possible.
bet they just copied the script and then didn't bother to check if the actors changed the dialogue at all.
Right.
I'd like to note that there are so few women in this movie.
It's Farrah Fawcett, and that's
It's
it.
just Farrah Fawcett.
It's sort
Does
of a-
Farrah Fawcett have any agency over what her son does or what her fiance does? It does not seem like it. All she has to do is get sad.
She's not even a sexy lamp because a lamp has to like be there.
There's only like
playing the role of
one
your
or two
MacGuffin
scenes
today.
where she's not in the apartment. Every single one of her other scenes is at the apartment, either inside it or outside on the deck space.
And just consistently sad. Sad about her fiance.
Sad about any other movie she could be in right now.
Of course, there's a scene where JTT is rollerblading.
Yes.
You can't not do that. in a
There's
fucking
hip hop,
90s
there's
movie.
rollerblading. It's the 90s.
Set to a cover of Hit the Road, Jack.
Yeah, because his name is Jack.
On the nose, needle drops.
But let's talk about the best needle drop in the movie.
What?
Are we getting to there yet?
Return to Innocence.
Oh, God. Which is not even indigenous, is it?
No,
Let's
it's-
peel
it's
back these layers.
Not
Okay.
American anyway. It's Taiwanese Aboriginal.
So,
But
that doesn't
everyone
make
thinks
any
it's
goddamn
Native
sense.
American because that's
Right.
how it was marketed.
That fucking song from the 90s, Game Grumps did a whole bit about it.
Do you think the guy who sang Return to Innocence every time someone was like, hi, he'd be like, hi, and they're like, Craig, come on, man.
Craig. And while it was playing, the subtitle at one point said in parentheses, Indian music. Nope.
Lies.
Lies.
Ultimately, this was the reason I wanted to pick this movie. Because I remembered this needle drop specifically.
Are you shitting me?
Maybe.
You made me waste a whole goddamn episode of this Well, you know what? It's your guest choice. You're never going to get another one.
Nope.
Sorry.
I don't give a shit.
So there's the scene where JTT and the kid who got shoved in the locker have a camp out in the backyard in a fucking teepee.
With a smiley face on it.
I need teepee for my bunghole.
Rooftop somewhere. I thought they were like in the middle of the sticks or something.
It was like the rooftop of their apartment.
Okay.
Where the mom built
the loft
a
apartment.
garden.
It was just out on their spacious deck balcony.
And then they get bored and JTT's like, want to go inside and play video games? Of course I do. And they mention the game Subhumanoid Slaughterhouse 5000. I feel like at least 80% of the kids who played Subhumanoid Slaughterhouse 5000 grew up to join the alt-right.
God, right?
You just know all the fans of that now call everyone online they disagree with politically subhumanoids.
And here's the part that throws me. They establish in that scene that there's another one called Subhuman Slaughterhouse 2000, but 5,000
That's not as good.
That's not as good, yeah. Are there actually 5,000 games in this fictional franchise?
I mean, Anita Sarkeesian covered 3,000 in the Trophy Women series, and everyone got really pissed off about that.
Subhumanoid Slaughterhouse 3182 was just amazing.
Yeah, but then unfortunately, Subhuman Slaughterhouse 4,238 really jumped the shark.
Yeah, I know.
That's where they got off the racist
They literally brought
bandwagon.
Fonzie in.
He was the subhuman.
They were talking about a vampire troll, and I don't know what it was, but it was
Duncan or Doug or Dave.
No, it was Douglas, the vampire troll.
I enjoy that it's a boring name and then two separate fictional
Yes.
creatures merged together. It's like, hi, I'm Steve, the unicorn wizard.
We're 40-year-old screenwriters. We totally know how video games work.
We have played a video game.
I didn't want this to happen, but I was fully expecting it to because this movie did not make a goddamn single correct decision. I was sure that when they walked into the house, they were going to walk in on Chevy and Farrah fucking. It just seemed
Another
inevitable.
payoff that never happened.
And that was going to lead to more shenanigans, but no. Instead, Chevy's just in there calmly reading a book.
I think when Chevy Chase is having sex, it's called lampoon-tang.
Yes. That's exactly what it's called.
Waiting for that one.
We should just end the podcast right here. We can't top that.
Okay, join us next week for our lost episode on jungle animal rescue.
Come on home where your video's playing. Good times are waiting, it's true. Come where your family is waiting for Walt Disney and you. Walt Disney and
Just kidding. We suffered through 90 minutes of this shit. Y'all can handle another 24. And then there's the scene where the kid who gets shoved into a locker is being bullied by the bullies again, and JTT tries to run in and stop it by doing some fucking Bruce Lee moves?
Let's appropriate another culture while we're at it.
Sure, why the hell not?
Funny enough, I also remember that shot of the movie specifically in the trailers, just to make Jonathan Taylor Thomas look really, really cool. Also, can we talk about how the bullies were shoving the kid around?
They were also like clearly 5 years older than the children. They were like
high
15,
schoolers.
16.
Why are you hanging around in middle school?
It is funny that they shove him into a locker as he's going through the movie, because it really makes the movie feel like the moral of the story is, hey, if you become really good friends with your parents, you will be a huge loser, and everyone will
yes,
punish you.
and you will deserve to get shoved into that locker, young man.
So, don't be friends with your parents at all, clearly. You
Nope,
cannot
never.
have a good relationship with your parents in the slightest, or your step-parents.
Check.
That's the moral.
Meanwhile, while all this shit's happening, remember, Chevy Chase also has that shit with the mafia guys.
Our low-rent Godfather extras.
They're doing this whole father-son Whitewater Rapids canoe trip, and they're waiting for Chevy to show up. He's running late, and the mafia guys cut his brakes.
Well, then you should have been early.
Got you there, eh?
So he does what passes for a fucking action sequence in this
The
garbage
mildest
movie.
of car chases.
Bullet, this is not.
It was so much a car version of Falling with Style.
So his car goes in the water, and JTT thinks he was lying, that he just didn't show up. And so the other parents are like, I mean, you could still come with us. Nah, forget it. And they just leave him. They just
Leave him
leave a child
under a bridge.
They abandon him at the docks.
Yeah,
No
an
communication.
11-year-old on the side of the
That
highway.
won't lead to anything bad.
No other forms of communication.
In the
'cause
city of Seattle.
No one had cell phones at the time.
This isn't, the burbs or the country where there's a bunch of latchkey kids that know what the shit to do. Here, child, stay here in the inner city for no freaking reason.
Just sit there.
Right
You
next
can
to
go
a
home.
visibly busy highway.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the mob and how they cut Chevy Chase's brakes. You know how when you're in the mob and you do things yourself?
Yeah.
When you go out and do your own shit.
Budget cuts.
You know,
in the
that's
field.
economy.
Exactly.
You know, Mafia Don's famous for getting their hands dirty and not other people's.
Yeah, they'll go all the way to the woods to kill this fucking
Oh,
guy.
Jesus.
Which leads
Literally.
to basically Home Alone in the fucking woods.
So the reason they're cutting the brakes, though, is they have one scene where they say, oh no, it has to look like an accident because we don't want anything to come back on us. But then they go to the woods later and they bring a sniper rifle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
just
just
like-
gonna shoot him.
You know what looks like an accident? A fucking gunshot wound.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they could
Oh
have
no,
been
he
hunting,
slipped and
but-
fell on the bullet.
We're gonna leave him for the Bigfoots, you see.
I did get like half a laugh. It wasn't a sincere laugh. It was an ironic laugh, if anything. The mafia guys, while they're there to kill this guy, one of them just decides, hey, for no fucking reason, I'm just gonna start catching fish with my bare hands.
I'm gonna go hand fishing.
Hey, I caught one. I'm a regular Jacques Cousteau over here. And it just said it in the stupidest, most obnoxious, stereotypical accent.
I'm gonna stuff this fish full of gabagool, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna catch a fish with my hands over here. Hey,
The closest I got to a
gobbly-gobbly-ga.
positive emotion about this film was just the utter incongruity of these mafia guys in big three-piece suits tromping around the woods.
Reservoir Dogs goes camping.
I want you to tell him Luca Brasi sleeps with the raccoons.
The shot that I liked best, which is a low bar, but it clears it, was when they are establishing that the troupe is going on their camping trip and the camera slowly pans as they're all walking through the trail and then the camera pans back and the mob is suddenly there They have suddenly materialized like ninjas. Can we have this absurd a tone the entire time, please?
Like, I look away for a second and I see the mob. Like,
suddenly,
what
wise
the
guys.
Fuck?
Surprise!
Yeah, it was the one really good comedic shot the entire time, because the rest of it shot like a TV movie.
Yes.
Everything else was just so dull.
This was in theaters. I saw it in theaters. God, they had a low bar back then.
It never would have been great, but there are places where it could have been better.
So when Chevy Chase is telling that story at the campfire, he calls himself looks so darn good. No. He calls Farrah Fawcett lots of hair, which, fine, fair enough.
Lots of hair and looks so darn good. Both describes Farrah Fawcett, and neither describes Chevy Chase.
And he calls JTT young crab.
Because he's a little grump.
Well, that's a crab experiment for you right there.
Okay, I just had to check the perimeter. We're fine. There's nobody outside with chainsaws.
I thought I heard a
Please, we need that deposit back, Agatha.
Don't worry, I distracted her. She's bugging Doggins right now.
Look, Agatha, you know I have tremendous respect for you
Lies!
and your experiments and your crabs.
Lies!
I really do not know how I can make this up to you.
Lucky for you, I left the chainsaw at home. Unlucky for you, I have the plasma cutter.
So to thwart the mafia goons, JTT finds this fucking beehive, and he's carrying it on a stick.
They didn't, pick it up with a stick. They cut the branch off the tree that the beehive was attached to. And basically they just, walked very carefully with that branch.
And the bees weren't stinging him for some reason.
Bees do not naturally want to sting because it does kill them.
No, but if you fuck with them, they still will.
It's like a kamikaze thing, so the big thing is to not make sudden moves around bees when you are near a hive.
Ow! Ow! Oh, they're defending themselves somehow.
So there's a moment where JTT is aiming at the mafia guys with a bow and arrow.
I think he's gonna shoot us with his little bow and arrow. Oh, I'm really scared. Yeah, maybe we should take cover.
Dude, bow and arrows can still kill.
Bow and arrows are arguably more dangerous than gunshot wounds because depending on the gun, you can have a clean entrance and exit. Arrow will stay in there, and you can't pull it out without severely damaging your internal organs.
I guess you can make the argument that these were toys, but you saw them sharpening.
They had an entire Legends of the Fall style montage of them making weapons.
Yeah, just sharpening the shit out of everything.
They shoot the arrow at the beehive so that it falls on them, and you see the beehive falling on them from a bird's eye view. And instead of, I don't know, running away,
they just cut us.
Or stepping to the side a little, they just say, beehive!
The makeup department wasn't up to snuff because the mafia people, their bee stings looked like they just had a bad case of whiteheads, just acne.
They just put some hydrocolloid bandages on.
Yeah, literally.
They nicked themselves shaving all over the face.
And then this almost has the danger of turning slightly a quarter interesting by trying to become a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. They
find dynamite just lying around.
They find dynamite somewhere, and they try to trap them in an abandoned mine, and they're gonna set off the dynamite so that the mine caves in and kills them.
But it's so weird because they established that it's in a state park.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't,
why would there be an abandoned
You can't
mine?
mine in a state park.
Maybe it was a mine from before it was a state park, which would make that dynamite really, really old, which would mean it would not work at all or work way too well, or they were not clear of the blast
bring
zone.
their own dynamite?
They looked like toilet paper rolls.
So yeah, the bigger issue with the mine is the mine was clearly 4 feet deep.
And then basically the characters reenact the fucking writer's room of this piece of shit, where they debate whether the method of death is creative enough.
Well, if you were really clever, you'd wrap us up in wet rawhide, so when it dried out, it'd mash up all our bones and squeeze our internal organs out through our orifices like a tube of toothpaste.
You need to be trying harder with your murders. You're going in circles, honey. This 70-year-old Jewish woman never goes away the entire movie.
I also want to point out, one of the mafia guys refers to JTT as this little demento.
Light the fuse before this little demento gets any more ideas.
Excuse me, he's a doctor. He did not go to medical school for this shit. So then the other dads show up and their kids, and the mime guy fucking bow and arrows the dynamite fuse and puts it out.
That would be so cool in a Western where it belongs.
It would be cool in a Western, but in a movie like this, it's just these stupid bastards.
This is meant to be a comedy, and a joke would be like, oh, I'm going to try and do this, and it misses.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like funny. A joke.
I would have laughed my ass off if he'd missed and fucking hit Chevy Chase square in the forehead.
God.
Or if he missed and hit the stick of dynamite, and so you're like,
or
fuck,
like
I missed.
set off like a Rube Goldberg machine of turning it off.
They slowly get surrounded by not just the dads, but like the kids too. Why didn't the mafia guy just shoot him? He could have just
had a
shot
million
him
opportunities
right there.
to just shoot all these motherfuckers.
Literally.
They have guns, for God's sake.
At first I'm like, okay, they're sticking to the idea of, oh, we got to make sure it looks like an accident. But then when the other parents show up, he's like, shoot him! So what the fuck are we doing here?
The mom and JTT were making like a thing of things that they collect from the beach. And then like at the very end, just before the wedding, JTT and Chevy Chase were putting up some stuff and they were like, this looks like a circle. You did it. We completed it.
You completed the circle.
Yeah.
Fuck you, movie.
It's a circle of life.
Sure, why not?
It's just a circle of driftwood.
It's a circle of lies. And then Chevy Chase and Farrah Fawcett get married in the denouement. Who fucking cares?
I like her wedding dress, for the record, and not because it looks like a more grown-up version of Sarah's dress from Labyrinth.
Another thing we noticed in the end credits, no bees were harmed in the making of this
thank
motion
God.
picture.
Not the bees.
But we don't hear shit about that fish, though.
No.
Yeah.
They specifically focus on the
sleeping
bees.
with the fishes. Of all the things I've watched on this podcast, you know what this movie most reminds me of in terms of just nothingness?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Jack.
You could tell Jack was trying to be about something, you just couldn't quite tell what. Here, I don't think it's even going for anything. It's just such bog standard bullshit.
Any amount of edge has been sanded off until the movie is just a ball.
If you told me that literally everyone in this movie was doing it out of contractual obligation, I would believe you. The director had another movie on his contract, so did the screenwriters, so did Chevy Chase, so did George Wendt, so did JTT. Everyone had to make one other movie for Disney, and their other projects got canceled for various reasons, so they're all like, fuck it, let's just put together technically a movie, and it'll be this. That's what this is. It's a fucking placebo pill of a movie. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't nourish you whatsoever. Ugh.
And yet it did something for me when I was a kid.
How? What?
Again, I don't know.
You don't. So is this just your therapy session?
Maybe.
Well, anyway, the time has come to answer that question that has baffled mankind and be kind through the ages. Namely, what's the attraction? So, because America just keeps on getting dumber and dumber, apparently, people are gonna eventually reach the point where they get dumb enough to like this movie. And it's going to be the most watched title on Disney Plus. And Disney's going to be like, hey, we got to work Man of the House into the park somehow. How are they going to do that, Zach?
They're going to replace Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln with Great Moments with Mr. Chevy Chase. And it won't be an animatronic. They'll just finally give that actor something to do.
Yeah.
Because he's not getting cast in anything else. So he'll just sit there in Lincoln's chair, curtain will open up, and he'll just be an asshole to the entire audience, to the crew, probably to Walt Disney's corpse. Then just when the crew gets tired of it, they'll lower the curtain and let you out.
Haley.
The Davy Crockett canoes will only let one parent, one child pairs on the canoes.
So it's like the Pteranodon Flyers at Islands of Adventure?
You have to have your dad or your mom with you. If they don't, they take you to downtown Anaheim and they just leave you there to cry and walk home.
Gabby.
You're going to find a bunch of trash around the park, like some soggy popcorn, a duck feather, a rock or something. And then you're going to take it back over to Main Street to make a weird big art piece. And at the end of the day, the art piece is going to be a big circle. And Jonathan Taylor Thomas is going to show up and sing, "It's the Circle of Life."
And you make a hidden Mickey with it.
It is also apparently the Universal Studios game for GameCube.
It is!
Charlie, what's the attraction?
I've been thinking about this, and honestly,
be thinking about it some more.
I will. The portion along the rivers of America, they've stopped referring to the tribe there as the quote-unquote Indian River tribe.
Right.
You replace that area, put a new politically correct named indigenous tribe area and have all the little white children, no one else, all the little white children dressed in little headdresses, sit around the campfire and watch George Wendt and Chevy Chase carry fucking grapefruits under their chins for an hour straight.
Well, unfortunately, you're all wrong.
Good.
What they are going to do is they are going to re-theme Radiator Springs Racers to Man of the House, and they're going to cut all the cars' brakes. So they're just going to careen through DCA, smash into Avengers Campus, through Hollywood, just all over the park, and finally it'll land in Paradise Bay.
Oh, God.
And it'll sink.
Do we have to apologize to Ariel for being late to our stepson's canoeing trip?
Yes, we do.
Awesome.
It might be really good to ride that during World of Color, because just imagine splashing into the bay as World of Color is going on. That would be a delight.
And then it's World of You. The fountains propel you up in the sky, and you're part of the show. You're, whoa!
Well, what if it's the part with the fire?
Oh, then you get burned alive.
There you go.
Just like every copy of this movie should have.
And then you become a living turkey leg.
At least it's preserved digitally so that I could have chosen it all these years later on this exact day and listen to you guys bitch about it, because honestly, that was the real reason I wanted to choose this, because I
wanted to exercise it like a demon.
You guys would hate it so much.
Well, we haven't given our final verdict yet, Charlie.
No, we all give it a Disney Plus to spite him.
So, final verdict, folks, is Man of the House a Disney Plus or a Disney minus? Charlie, it's your guest choice.
It's a fucking minus. Are you kidding me? This did not hold up one iota. I remembered it being so much more whimsical. I did not remember it being this dumb and dull and lifeless.
Now, Charlie, this entertained you when you were a kid. What's it like learning you were a basic bitch?
I already knew.
Okay,
I am a basic bitch.
Gabby, plus or minus?
And all my times on this podcast in particular, I've given Disney Pluses to things.
You liked Strange Magic, for fuck's sake.
I did love Strange Magic. That was entertaining. It was more entertaining than this. I am giving this a Disney minus. It is very dull. It is very racist. I was rolling my eyes. I was tired. I wanted to sleep. I want to sleep now.
Haley, plus or minus?
Hard Disney minus. Strange Magic was a train wreck with a confetti car. It was fascinating, colorful, and you couldn't look away. This was a fender bender that ties up the 5 for 3 hours, and it's not even interesting.
Zach,
you and I have sat through a bunch of shit for this podcast. I think I've gotten the really shit deep.
I will say,
I've gotten.
This is not worse than Jack.
I think this is worse than Jack.
I disagree. This movie
Jack
merely...
at least got ridiculous in a way that I found funny. I still laugh at a parade of people yelling, "Can Jack come out to play?" The only thing I laughed at is one panning shot from left to right. There are so many places where I can get a panning shot left to right. I can only get "Can Jack come out to play?" from the movie Jack. This is hot garbage. This is like if ice cream was made out of mayonnaise. Like it's just it's bland in a way that tastes bad.
And white. Aggressively white.
And aggressively white.
This is the worst things about the 90s.
Insultingly Caucasian.
Disney minus.
It is unanimous. Disney minuses across the board. The reason I don't rank this quite as bad as Jack or Meet the Deedles, which still to this day, I can't even decide which one's worse. They're just the two worst movies I've covered for this podcast. This movie isn't quite there only because it's so goddamn boring for most of its run that I couldn't even muster up the enthusiasm to hate it most of the time. I mean, I hated the racist parts, obviously. I hated that these people didn't even fucking try. But the movie itself, I was just looking at the clock. I was just wondering when the fuck it was going to end, whereas Jack and Meet the Deedles actively pissed me off throughout the whole thing. This one just bored me.
I think that may be the difference between you and I. If I get pissed off, I'm like, at least they did something that riled an emotion out of me.
Sure.
This was like, I opened a bag of chips and all I had in it was air. I'm angry.
Racist air.
Yeah. I opened it.
My least favorite airline. Racist air.
I opened a bag.
A little moth with a triangle on its head flew out.
I opened a bag of Lay's and instead of chips, I got a racial slur thrown at me. like no one gave a fuck about anything. It doesn't feel like the producers cared, like the writers cared. Even Jonathan Taylor Thomas, an 11-year-old who's getting to act for a living, showed up and was like, I'm just going to do the same face for like every motion. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Nobody gave 2 fucks. At least with something like Jack, someone was trying to do something and they failed horribly.
A swing and a miss
With
as opposed to a coast and a roast.
Yeah. This one, it feels like I'm being lectured at for 90 minutes, but it's just the word blah.
Yeah, it's a bad movie. May it burn in hell where it belongs. Who's got stuff to plug?
You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/atomicnerdgirl. I stream twice a week there. Usually just old video games and stuff. And then you can also find me on Twitter at ghoulish_gabs. Check me out on those platforms. Give me some views on my stream.
I'm still on hiatus for my YouTube stuff right now, but if you want to follow me on Twitter, TheRLKing, TheRLKing. I try to be funny on there usually.
On Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, my name is Trickster Bell. That's where I update the most often. Hopefully, I should have some videos out by the end of the summer, so we'll see about that.
And, of course, you can find me at Theme Snark on YouTube, all the socials. I have been a lot more active on YouTube lately, and if you are wanting to, go ahead support me on Patreon. Just $1 a month. They'll get you basically free looks at everything that I want to put out early, or should put out early.
And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Tony Goldmark. You can also follow this show on Twitter at EFVD Podcast. I've also got a Facebook fan group you can join called Some Jerk with a Fan Club. And I've got a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tony Goldmark, where you can find all 3 seasons of my web series, Some Jerk with a Camera, along with a bunch of other videos about movies and theme parks, and even a few scant episodes of this very podcast. You can find every episode of this podcast at pipedreampodcast.com, as well as all the usual outlets like Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. If you like what you've been hearing and you'd like to help us out, please subscribe. Please leave a review. Please give us 5 stars. All that stuff helps us get discovered by the almighty algorithm. If you'd like to help us out even more, you can donate to my Patreon, patreon.com/Tony Goldmark, where if you pledge any amount, even the bare minimum of $1 a month, you get to hear new episodes of this podcast 1 day early. Once again, that's patreon.com/Tony Goldmark. Special thanks to all my patrons. You don't know how much it means to me. And also, once again, a very special fucks to you, Charlie Callahan, for inexplicably choosing Fletch and Simba Meander for 90 minutes as your guest choice.
You are absolutely equally fucked in return.
I know, believe me. And speaking of guest choice, Haley, you still have your guest choice option in your back pocket. Do you want to go 2 in a row and come back on the show next week to use it, or keep it in your back pocket?
I will be keeping it in my back pocket.
Traitor.
She's keeping it in her back pocket, folks. That means next week we are back to letting the randomizer pick our topic for us, and I am now joined by one of my guests on next week's episode, Matt Brunet. How you doing, Matt?
Hey, Tony, doing great. How about you?
Doing all right. Are you ready to read off the randomizer's pick for next week?
Yes, just click the randomizer right now.
Okay, Smart House, initiate random shuffle mode, please.
Initiating random shuffle mode.
Make a selection.
And the winner is...
Jungle Animal Rescue.
Jungle Animal Rescue. Is that a show? Let me check. Okay, Jungle Animal Rescue is a Nat Geo show with 6 episodes. So, Matt, if you'll be so kind as to open a new tab and Google random number generator, and then plug in 1 through 6 and see what it gets you.
1 through 6, and the number that we got is 5.
5! That would be Season 1, Episode 5, A Tiger's Tale. All right, join us next week on Escape from Walt Disney when we will cover Jungle Animal Rescue, Season 1, Episode 5, A Tiger's Tale.
Come on home where your video's playing. Good times are waiting, it's true. Come where your family is waiting for Walt Disney and you. Walt Disney and you. Walt Disney and you.
Good God, Jack, this is the 90s. Haven't you heard of political correctness?